Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tall and this is the Dinosaur Channel. Welcome. This is your home on the internet for all things dinosaur and prehistoric. Today we're going to be covering an episode all about the Spinosaurus. But before we do, I want to make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications for this channel so you don't miss a single dinosaur quick dive, because we are basically covering all the dinosaurs and prehistoric creatures from the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World franchise. So leave us a dinosaur-sized thumbs up if you like this channel and comment down below your favorite dinosaur and a dinosaur that you would like us to cover. And let's jump right into everyone's favorite sailed dinosaur, the Spinosaurus. So, Spinosaurus, what does it mean? Spinosaurus quite literally means spined lizard. And at the moment, there are two kinds of forms that are kind of known of. This is Spinosaurus aegypticus and Spinosaurus maroccensis, or Moroccoensis. So where and when did the Spinosaurus live? So like the name suggests, the fossil remains of this dinosaur have been found in both Egypt and Morocco, hence the Aegypticus and Maroccensis. So we know that it probably only existed in like the North Africa region back in the day, which right now is deserts, but back then it was mainly wetland and swampy areas. And as for how long ago it lived, it was about 115 to 95 million years ago during the Cretaceous period. Now here comes an interesting one. What did the Spinosaurus look like? So this is kind of controversial, really only for Jurassic Park fans. So we'll start it off with a big old side note. So this, my friends, unfortunately, is not a Spinosaurus. I mean, this is definitely not a Spinosaurus. But this thing, unfortunately, is not what a Spinosaurus probably looked like. To be honest, the designs of dinosaurs change so frequently, so it's not that far of a stretch. And some things are kind of right here, like the facial feature, the sail. Overall, it's not what it looked like. It's outdated. Unfortunately, too, because of the remains and how rare they are of the Spinosaurus, we'll never really know until we find more of exactly what it looked like. But this was models. This is based on like what we thought a Spinosaurus looked like about 10 to 20 years ago. 2014, the model of what a Spinosaurus was changed immensely. So in 1912, remains of the Spinosaurus were found and they were stored in Germany, and during World War II those were destroyed, and those were the most accurate and the most fulfilling Spinosaurus remains we had up until that point. And so this design of the Spinosaurus, this was popularized by Jurassic Park 3, the movie. I'm sure a lot of you guys know that. And so this has kind of been accepted as the Spinosaurus design, although it has changed a lot. We're gonna cover more of what it looked like a little bit later in this episode, but just so you know, this is not a Spinosaurus, unfortunately. So as for length, size, and weight, all that jazz, it's hard to say as well since the Spinosaurus remains are so far and few, but for a long time it was the contender for the largest sized carnivore that ever walked the earth. It's right up there alongside the T-Rex, the Carcharodontosaurus, the Giganotosaurus, or Gigantosaurus, however you want to call it, just to name a few that kind of rank up there with the largest predators to ever exist. As for size, it was probably in the range of 50 to 60 feet. We're talking like a whale with legs. It was massive. This thing was huge, and it weighed in the range of 11 to 17 tons. But there's also a huge debate on this because we don't know 100% because of its lifestyle, which we'll get into more. It might have weighed a little bit less, might have weighed more, who really knows? So the two most interesting features of the Spinosaurus were the skull and the sail, of course. Let's start with the skull. I'm gonna get a little Spinosaurus model that I have here as well, a little smaller. It'll be easier to do this with. So as for the skull, it was massive. It was a very, very big skull, but it was very long and narrow as well. Not your typical Tyrannosaurid or Allosaurid type skull. Instead of having giant bulky teeth, it had more narrow and sharp teeth. This was a feature that many dinosaurs in the Spinosaurid family had, things like Baryonyx and Suchomimus. In addition, on its back, it had this massive freaking sail. We don't know exactly what this thing was used for. There's lots of different debates, whether it was for sexual display, mating courtships, to warn off predators, for heating regulation, for warmth. It ranges a lot. We really have no idea. This was due to the massive neural spines that it had on its back. Some people even hypothesize that these spines might have helped it move around in the water because we know this thing was semi-aquatic, but these are all theories, of course. We don't know for sure. There are some paleontologists as well believe that this was less of a sail and more of a bump, but we don't want to believe that because that's cool. But that should be noted that some paleontologists believe it wasn't a sail, it was just a big bump. Now for how it actually stood, this is also sort of a debate, but it's being accepted more that it was less of a T-Rex type stance where it was on 2 legs, more that it was on 4 legs, kind of walking around bipedally and quadrupedally through the water and through the land. This body adjustment must have really helped it living in an aquatic environment, being able to swim around with all 4s, using the massive claws that it had on its hand, fishing and stuff like that. But we'll get more into that in the diet and behavior section. We can already see it's a very different animal than what Jurassic Park 3 showed us, even though that was based on accurate information they had at the time. All right, now how did the Spinosaurus get famous? Simple answer is Jurassic Park 3. Everybody knows it was the thing that put it on the map. This was the poster child of that movie. It literally replaced the T-Rex with a Spinosaurus head in the movie. So it was the famous thing about the movie. The Spinosaurus was the main antagonist of Jurassic Park 3. The most famous scene that is like the thing that people love most about Jurassic Park 3 is the scene where the T-Rex and Spinosaurus duke it out in the middle of the jungles of Isla Sorna. They're fighting to the death, and the Spinosaurus eventually kills a T-Rex. Spoiler alert! You should have watched it. Sorry. But that's of course what made the Spinosaurus famous, and as a little bonus mini side note, this battle would have never happened because the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus lived super far away from each other in completely different age groups in the Cretaceous period. They didn't even live in the same time, so they would have never actually fought in nature. Sorry to ruin that for you as well if you didn't know that already. That's been highly mentioned already all over the internet. Sorry, again. Okay, I'll leave you. Goodbye. So lastly, how did this dinosaur behave? What did he eat? What did it do? What did the Spinosaurus behave like? What was the Spinosaurus doing millions of years ago? So based on the remains that we found of the Spinosaurus and the locations it's been found, we know and we think this thing was an aquatic creature that lived semi in the water, semi out on land, but spent most of the time around water fishing. This was not a giant carnivore that probably hunted massive dinosaurs and probably didn't go around bringing down sauropods and other, giant theropods like a T-Rex type animal that lived in the same area as it. Think more slender, more slim, maybe even a little more buoyant, swimming through the water, catching massive fish, sharks, other animals that live there, and maybe feeding on smaller dinosaurs whenever it could. Just because the Spinosaurus was big, it did not necessarily mean that it hunted everything in the surroundings. So this made the Spinosaurus an acceptable piscivore. This is what we usually refer to in the scientific world as a fish eater. And as for whether it was a solitary animal or lived in groups, we really have no idea because remains of this animal are so rare, and the ones that we found that were really good were destroyed once again in World War II. So boo humans for destroying dinosaurs. We will probably learn more in the future about this dinosaur because we gotta find more, right? Like scientists are gonna want to, paleontologists are gonna want to, but until paleontologists get digging for more Spinosaurus remains, that's all we know. That's everything you're gonna know about the Spinosaurus, and that's all for the Spinosaurus. If you like this dinosaur, smack us with a dinosaur-sized thumbs up on this channel because we're covering all the dinosaurs from the Jurassic Park and Jurassic movie franchise. We have so many dinosaurs, I mean literally hundreds. You guys have no idea, we're going deep into this thing. So if you don't want to miss a single quick dive about these dinosaurs, make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications so you don't miss a single video. As well, comment down below a dinosaur that you would like to see us cover in the future. And if you want to support this channel, you can by sending us some money down. Our PayPal link isn't down in the description below. If you want to support us, it's all there. Send us some cash. Be like, hey, here's some dino cash, boy. And your next dinosaur will be the really cool Ceratosaurus. We'll see you then. Goodbye.